Howdy, y'all. It's Sunday. I scared her. Sorry, we're a little late. We were chit-chatting, and then I was like, oh, no, it's time.
Yeah.
It's amazing how quickly 3 minutes goes by.
Shooting the
sugar. Shooting the sugar, y'all.
Chewing the fat.
It is Sunday.
It is, but it's going to be a Thursday thought situation.
Yes.
Because I missed Thursday.
Yes. Also, very quickly, for my designers that are here, please check the designer group. I have posted in there. Basically, I am saying, would you please submit anything that you may want for December? What we're going to try to do is get the December designs done before December, before we have the Black Friday business, and we're talking about even doing that for maybe a whole week. I don't know. Stay tuned. Double points, y'all.
Oh, well, you're not talking about us doing this for a week. No.
No.
Oh, good. I was already having a panic attack there. I've got to gear up for this. I'm gonna make sure.
Please make sure, double check your folders. I have moved things around. I have put the stuff in there and made some alterations, but if there is something you need to, fix.
Are we allowed to talk about what Brad showed me this morning?
Maybe. Because, yes, the PM Artist Studio submission for December is ready. Which are going to be some snowflakes. There you go.
How many? Okay.
There are 9 of them.
9, and every single one of them is different.
Yeah, so that's fun.
They coming in sets of 3. Now, I didn't want to do those today because I've got...
No, because they're not in the shop anyway, so we're not
Well, I've got to do some other things here.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say hello to everybody. All right. Oh, by the way, this is P over here.
M over there.
Patricia.
Mariah.
And together, we are PM Artist Studio. Do say hello in the chat so we can say hello back. We like to be friendly, but if you want to hang out in the background, no worries. We're totally fine with that. If you're watching on replay, no worries there. The number one thing you can do is give those thumbsy opsies, and then if you're feeling real frisky about it and you want to like and share and do all that other business that YouTube loves for people to do that, help channels grow, we are very appreciative. Those of you that have been doing that, thank you. It is making a difference. Thank you. Okay, so now let's go over and say hello to everybody. I don't know if there are any other announcements. What else did you want me to tell people? There was something. Oh, tags. They will be going out tomorrow for my 3 winners.
Will be going out tomorrow.
Well, Lee Fisher, Margot, and Robin, and then also your swap partner, Liz Fahey. So 4 things will be going out tomorrow. Liz
Fahey.
Yes. Okay.
Ireland.
All right, we've got Art Cures by M&W. That is Miriam. Board Grandma. That is Leela. Alyssa Barrett. Hello and welcome. Let's see here. Charmaine, Cookie Wookie. That's Mo, Darcy, Darlene, Dawn, Dana, Deb, Devin Rex for Art. That is Yolande. Eddie's here. Elizabeth, Griffin Shell. That's Rhonda. Janice, Yanka. Jeanette, a.k.a. Janet. Jennifer McKinnon. Kylie Koo is here. Hello, Kylie.
Yeah.
Lindsay, Mark Hines, Marcia Markle, Michelle Wynn, Paula, Rosemary, Shannon, Tegan, the Shelley Studio, that is Margot. And if I missed you, was not on purpose, simply give me extra hello hands or some kind of, thing. Hi. And I will do my best to say hello. All right, so that's that. Get to thoughtin' there, P.
I'm getting to thoughtin' as soon as I figure out how to use this clamp or unclamp the clamp. God dang, that's a... Ooh.
I will say that from
workout there.
Here's some fun. I don't know if you read all of the comments from the last stream or whatever, but there were quite a few chuckles regarding your don't get the blick in your eye.
And I don't even remember saying that.
I know. I was like, I wasn't
See,
even
you didn't remember it either.
I didn't. And then I was
I saw those coming. I was like, I tell sometimes the
PSAs over here. We just handed them out and not even remembered them.
The mouth-brain barrier breaks down.
Oh,
and
mouth-brain barrier. breaks down. It does. Well, see, sometimes because
And it's just like, I'm just stream of consciousness, you know,
She
just
is.
what this, and that's why I don't remember it.
this also worries me because I'm thinking, are there other things that she says that I just don't catch because I'm used to it? That explains things.
That explains things. I actually like what Gerald said. He said,
By the way, I have not ordered your Blick yet. I need a couple other items. I was gonna get some more Posca markers, but then I was like, I don't really need those. I don't. I mean, I like the idea of them. Would I use them? Most likely, but it's no, like I don't need it. So I'm like,
well, there was something that I needed,
and I kind of remember saying that. So because
and
I like to get
really,
the
you know,
free
I don't
shipping.
really think it's like the end of the world. There's other things we can use in lieu of.
In lieu of.
But
Hey,
I do.
me. Hey, Bruja.
I
Hey, Walter.
do like. Look at there's Deb with all those hearts and.
Hi, Deb.
And yeah. Okay. So, you know, I had this ready the last time and I wasn't feeling it. And I don't, you know, sometimes when you want to get into something new, I think you need to feel it first. You need to have an emotional
connection.
Bite. Yeah. I was just talking to Mariah. Okay, so here's just totally off the cuff here. Well, what we were discussing, and she got in kind of late on the stream there, is I've been watching a lot of Cesar Millan and making connections because he doesn't. He rehabilitates dogs and trains people. And I do think that there is a certain amount of that, you know, establishing, and it's not so much dominance. It's like, excuse me, this is my space. I own it. You will be invited in, but you have to wait for the invitation. Because one of the things that in junior high, middle school, you would have these little, and I used to call them chicas. And it's not, I'm not being racial.
No, they actually referred to themselves as
yes.
chicas.
Would come in, and you could just like that dog that struts into the room going, oh, yeah, okay, I think I can handle this. And I would just move towards them, hold out my hand and welcome them and say, welcome to our space here. You are here because you want to be here, and we're happy to have you here. Because that right away was like, there's only one queen here, and this is it. It ain't you. But I think that that's really, and I'm not being mean.
Yes.
I'm not being ugly. But I'm telling you what, one child can ruin the whole pack.
Yes. It can sway the whole mood of the entire classroom.
Entire classroom. And, you know, you have to have been there and done that before you really realize the severity of that, because you just dread that one class all day. Oh. And it's so silly. And when I finally did come to the point where I kind of got it, you know, it just made life a lot simpler. Okay, now this kind of segues into what I'm going to talk about today, which is how to improve your memory, problem solving, and mental processing. Because I think one of the absolute best problem solvers in the art world are mixed media. Why? Because they're always searching for a new solution. You have your traditionalists, your oil painters, they just do oil paint. You have your watercolors, they just do watercolors. And a lot of them are, you know, very traditional. Some of them are not so much. But when you open that whole area up to mixed media, you know, I mean, there is no end.
I think when you talk about, like, all right, so when artists specialize in something or have a, you know, drive to learn one medium, it's kind of a different mind frame because you're more into a technical process, more into learning in that along that kind of a thing.
The rules and procedures.
Also, mixed media artists are a little more sporadic, a little more, I think the ADD, it picks up on that because it's like, okay, I needed something else. I need to do this, you know, like, you know, it really appeals to that mind frame of just, okay, I need more than just this one thing.
Yeah, this ain't making
Right.
it for him.
Yeah.
I do think it is, and I also think it's just a creative mindset. I don't differentiate between being an artist, pardon me, and everything else I do. The way I dress, how my room looks. I mean, you've all seen it. It's it's not going to make it into El Decor.
I don't think that's true. I have seen. Now, when it's dirty, no. That's true. They always pick up before people come over.
Yeah.
Photograph and get into fancy magazines. I want to know. Is it like that all the time?
Yeah. Well,
inquiring minds.
Well, you already answered your question. You know that it's not. That they just gussied it up for them. All right.
So, hey, for a photo shoot, we can make some things happen. And there's some stuffing. But that's okay.
Yeah.
I want to know. What's behind those cabinets there? Got a lot of storage. I like that. What do you got in there?
Yeah. And I do. And that is my first question. I want to know.
What do you got in there?
And then I'm always very, very suspicious about people with very clean, pristine workspaces. I'm like, when they do their art.
Some people clean as they go. I don't think that's a judgment to have.
That's
all I'm saying.
Certainly not a concept that I
No, it is
endorse.
not anything that this is not
I
how
do
you
not
experience
practice it. I'm not a proponent of
Right.
clean as you go, because you're just going to have to get it back out. I swear to God, when I cook with Mariah, she's washing my dadgum spoons, my measuring cup and everything. I mean, she's just right there. I just like a dog on a bone, man. She's on it. Whoa. And I'm just like, hey, can you just back off a little bit?
So I just go
here?
away. I go away and then I come through.
Yeah.
And,
It's just best.
it really is.
Because it creates a very negative workforce atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want to introduce you to a really cool person here. He's dead, unfortunately, but, so many really great people are.
Happens. It does.
His name is Richard Feynman, and he was linked to developing the atomic bomb, but I don't want that to be an off-putter. He was a scientist, teacher, raconteur, and I looked that up. I'll tell you what it means in just a minute. He was a musician, but he was a drummer. And I know sometimes people don't really feel like that drummers are really musicians, but I do think that they are.
They got to keep the beat. They're the main thing.
They are. Well, I kind of feel like that. They're the guiding force.
Heck yeah.
Okay, a raconteur is a person who tells anecdotes in a skillful and amusing way.
Ooh, I feel we're that.
I think so.
We need a shirt
that says we are art raconteurs.
PM Artist Studio.
Okay.
Unfurling
But
Art,
he was
David.
also a physicist. And one of the things that he developed his seminal thesis on was watching kids spin plates in the cafeteria on their finger.
Cirque du Soleil before,
right, Are you getting it?
Yes.
It's a person who looks at life from a creative standpoint. Now, he was also a member of the Tuva, Friends of Tuva.
Feynman. Walter says it's pronounced Feynman.
Is it Feynman? Okay. I did not know. I've never heard it said. I just discovered this person. I mean, when I read this article and I looked the person up, and of course. And it is a tiny republic on the Mongolian border. They do throat singing.
I love that stuff.
Okay, this is where they come from. But he's a friend of the people of Tuva. And they were Buddhist until Stalin destroyed all of their... Yeah. They're a nomadic people, and it's a tiny republic on the Mongolian border. It is still inside of Russia. And it is the geographical middle point of all of Asia.
Wow.
Now, how about that for some little,
Love that.
I'm sure that'll come up in some trivia that you want to
Y'all are
wow people with your
out at the
diverse
TGI Fridays and whatnot.
Diverse knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay. So this Richard Feynman, that's how you say that, Feynman. It's spelled Feynman.
Oh.
Feynman.
Feynman. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure I think that's probably Deutsch. But He was born in 1918 and he died in 1988. So he was very old. And I mean, he was, it's kind of like Iris. He was still
doing things.
Doing things. Okay. All right. So here we go. Ask people which factor contributes the most to success, and most will choose intelligence. Even though scientists said you also have to be lucky. Right place, right time, right person, right blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Even though there are ways to create your own luck, you can't control that. But what you can control to some degree is how smart you are. So let's define smart. While there are a number of different forms of intelligence, let's focus on two. Crystallized intelligence is accumulated knowledge, facts, figures, think, educate. Of course, we all know people that are book smart, but not necessarily smart. That's where fluid intelligence comes into play. The ability to learn and retain new information and then use it to solve a problem, to learn a new skill, to recall existing memories and modify them with new knowledge. Think applied intelligence. All right, now I can read the rest of this, but really basically I don't have to because it just gives examples of that.
Right.
I want to give you some examples that I have because that's where the art starts, okay? This pebble. I don't really know where this came from, but very obviously it was in a stream where it had been rolled. And I visited lots of streams when I was in Alaska, so I'm pretty sure that it's an Alaska rock. It's a very dense rock. It's heavy. So, and I don't know what particular composition it is or anything. I just know that it is a pebble that I love. And I use this pebble a lot. I used it when I was doing
the bracelets
and my boxes. And I want to keep this in here because I like to know what I talked about on a certain day.
Mm-hmm.
And it just helps me later when I get ready. When I go back through, because I do recycle my thoughts. Recycle your thoughts.
Upcycle.
Funny.
I think upcycle's a better.
I upcycle my thoughts.
Hey, and I was thinking about, remember when we do the summer things? Wasn't there a whole thing on like applied knowledge? Or am I just mixing in some different things?
What?
Applied knowledge being like that, taking those
connections,
things.
making connections. Yes, that's what we call that whole session.
Yeah.
That whole summer session was applied knowledge. Okay, we can go topside now.
Okay, let's do it.
I want to share my...
She's been busy, y'all.
I have been very busy. I mean, I just finished these up last night. That's how... Of course, I did go and grab a few other bracelets. And what I did is I went through all of my bracelets. And the ones that were closest to the stem, that weren't on the outer edges.
Yeah, you kind of know that those are...
Those are ones that I mean, I haven't used them. I thought they were going to be wonderful and everything, but not necessarily so, obviously, because they're down there. A whole bunch of bracelets are piled on top of it. And y'all saw my bracelet tree in the
video, tour.
video. Yeah. It's the one I made with the pool noodle.
Hi, Robin.
Okay. So here they are. And I'm going to get each one of them off here. I would like to, show. I transported them with Izzy's wand.
One of her many.
One of her many.
Although she did work very hard on that one.
She really did. And I was very, very proud of her. Now, a few of them have been knocked off since then, but, this was her. And she got tired of it, so I just claimed it and put it in the thing over here. It works great for lots of things.
Upcycling that wand.
Upcycling Izzy's wand.
Kylie says that is a fine looking wand.
Isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, just don't come much finer than that.
That's right.
All right. So
what are
now
you going to do with that stick? Well,
I can use it to point with.
Izzy, she will. The other day, oh God, you would have loved this. So I think, all right, we were dropping her off at school, and at the entry, I guess a branch or something like that had, knocked off one of the trees. It was probably whenever we had that kind of, nighttime storm business going on. She says, Mommy, go grab that branch and take it to Gigi. I said, I will not be doing that. I was just like,
I'm sure
I mean, she was
very
dead
disappointed.
serious. She was, oh yeah, she was. She was like, because she knew she had to get into the school. But she really wanted me to appropriate the branch for you.
Okay, so yesterday we go to the library and there's this tree planted right dead center in. There's any way you can't walk past it to get to the library, right?
Right.
And I don't know what kind of tree it is, but it has these very interesting pods on it. And I mean, this child, she
Oh, so there's one at school too, and she's been bringing home the little pods.
Oh yeah, I've got them back.
The little cherry-looking things.
Yeah, well, these are more elongated and interesting, and they rattle. But she brought me these.
Yeah, she's been bringing those.
I told her I would faithfully keep them and
do something.
I'm going to take them downstairs and put them with the rest of the pods. One of these days, we're going to have a pod day. Okay, now I talked to you about my pebble here.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do, how do I use my pebble? One of the things that really irritates me, I mean, not like emotionally, but physically irritates me, is when I have a bracelet on and it's poking me. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't like that. So what I do, because inevitably you're going to have some of those, you take this before, you don't want to get to it when it's still smushy, but you want to get to it before it gets dry. So you're talking about maybe,
you know what,
3 or 4 hours.
All right, for anybody that has done clay, remember, there's a perfect time, and you should use your rock for that.
It's called leather hard.
I just had that pop into my head, and especially when you worked on that bowl. Remember that? I mean, hours she rubbed that thing.
I did.
Rub. Oh, and it's like that lady that makes those clay ball things. There's a name for that.
Well, I don't know what.
Or mud balls. They're mud balls, but you can make them into like just.
But anyway, that's what this pebble is for, because you think that those little things are not going to bother you, but you wear that bracelet for hours on end.
And they also, a lot of times, are little lift areas, so it's almost like they become more of an issue if you haven't smoothed them down.
And this is the perfect time to do that, because they're still pliable enough to do that. And you can really work that down in there and see, I've just smoothed that out totally.
Yes,
that's just totally wonderful there. Now, can you see it? Anyhow, probably, some of these others need a little bit more of this. I have spent a long time on this one. Oh, and I want you to notice. Did you notice how I wrote the...
Well, you got to turn
and this is on...
there you go. Perfect.
Is that perfect? Torinoco paper.
Torinico.
Torinoco.
Noco? Nico. Eco.
No.
Torinoco.
Torinoco. Anyway, that was what I did. So I wrote my name with the permanent, identi pin.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put the wash over the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And while it was still really saturated, I put the glue on it and I glued it down and pressed down. And it really, I think that was... And I had to do that on some of these because you really couldn't. I mean, on this, the big one here, you can see where my name is.
I just love this bracelet. It looks like copper.
Okay, I don't know if you can see it on the inside because there's so many reflective surfaces in there. But anyway, I've signed on the inside of this.
I can kind of see it, yeah.
Yeah. But this, and I did put this down like this, and I did smooth out the edges there. And the edges there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't really, if there's not anything that's poking me out here, I'm very happy with this being a very,
Hey, Heather.
A very bumpy textured surface. So, how did I do this? Well, let me tell you what, it wasn't all that easy. Where's my little packet of, what did I do with that? Dear Lord. It's in my...
But that was the one that you started out with the, Bounty paper towel, because it still has a little bit of that texture to it, which I think is fabulous.
Yes, and remember,
because what do they call that? Like when you do the hammered 10 or a hammered, like it's, it has the little bumps in it.
Yes. It's the mark of the hammer.
Yeah,
because it's a round
little ball peen kind of thing.
Hammer. Yeah, it has that sort of feel to it. That's a good point, Mariah. Good point. All right, so it came. originally like this, right? Y'all remember this?
Oh, this has a very calico feel to it. Yes. She says, I love that copper bracelet. Love those colors.
So I just noticed areas where there was that kind of green.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted more of that because I think when copper tarnishes.
Or what do we call that? Patina?
Patina, yeah.
That's patina.
That's some patina. And what was cool was because I tore them out like that. But here, I've got to show you this other, because what I did was I did not want to be using up
Hi, Michelle.
all of this paper. I just wanted those things in certain places. So what I did was I took
Hey, Betsy.
and made this. This is one of the ones I did. I just added another coat to it.
Oh,
Remember this is
yeah.
when I had a pickup?
Yeah, and I kind of remember it crackling like that.
And what it is it's the red iron oxide.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to keep this out here because this is going to be important. So that's what I did. I completely covered it with these pieces and then tore out. I did not cut them out. I tore them out of this and tried it. And I think I replicated, look at that.
Yeah, you did.
Replicated that really nicely. And that did take some doing because it wasn't just one. I had to come in with some little bit of green and a little bit of my Ucky brown to kind of, because it was just too bright.
Yeah.
But this is very, can you see that when I turn it like that? You can actually see the indentations and the bumpiness of it.
I love this one.
And it is large enough that it moves up on your arm so that you can wear other bracelets down below it. That's an important factor. And I'm going to show you one of the ways that I decided that someone asked, how do you determine, the inner size? Well, it's sort of easy. You just take a string. You hold your hand like you would normally to get a bracelet off or on. And you would go like this, right? Widest part of your hand. It really helps if you've got somebody else to hold this for you. But you get what I'm saying.
Job.
Okay, you want to come around to wherever it is there. All right. This is the length of the circumference?
Yes.
No, it would be the inner.
Yeah, circumference all the way around. The
all the way
circle
around.
of it. Diameter is from the middle out.
Right. And well, and I guess you could, but you don't want to do that. Do the half thing. Now you've got this, so you put your ruler down, you measure this out, and then you lay, if you're doing it and you want to say, do it from the inside, all you have to do is just remember, whatever you've got, depth, thickness here, you're going to remove that from this so that you get an inner.
I don't know really what you're.
All right. Well, if you take and you use a piece of cardboard or something, something stiff.
Yes.
Then you put it down, you measure it off, then you can roll it into this form.
And you could even create yourself some templates.
Sure.
If you want, kind of like the ring ones, you can do that sort of thing. That way, all right, kind of, it's like a gauge is really what she's talking about. So if you start with the string, then you know the full measurement. Then you can measure off on like a manila folder. This is your manila folder thing, right?
These are my manila folder. Yeah. You can tell. And I wanted to go ahead and show you how to get that edge on there, but I'm kind of done with bracelets for a while. So you're just going to have to either watch the original, because I'm pretty sure that I did a file folder.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember it either, but I can't imagine why I didn't. All right, I want to talk about the blue ones, because
Mariah, does everybody understand that? Please ask questions if you have a question about that, because I would, if we need to go more in depth on that, I think it is important, because it offers up like how do you gauge the size of what you're doing.
Yeah, if you don't understand that, and here's the thing, I told Mariah that, really, we just didn't have time, because Izzy wanted to go to the library yesterday, and then she had a play date, and there was...
Life is busy.
Mariah and Brad were getting the stuff ready for
no, we were just doing
December.
Orders.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, but we're at a nice little spot. That's why I'm saying if we have this decent enough break here, we can fit in and already go ahead and get December stuff early. So then that way we can hopefully get it out before the whole double points. Plus then that frees us up for December, which we already anticipate going to be nutty because it's, the holidays.
Okay, now, getting back to the bracelets here. Y'all remember this piece of napkin that I showed you? And I said, I'm going to have to, and it had a big white swatch out in the middle.
I liked the white swatches, but she obviously
I didn't.
Rode that, yeah.
I didn't like it. I thought it looked...
Hi, Catalina.
I thought it looked, kind of half-assed. I didn't like it.
She didn't want any of that.
I didn't want any of that. But here you can see just barely on the tips here. Now, I want to tell you a little trick that I learned, and I should have been able to make this, but here we go, fluid intelligence. Rather than crystallized.
Right.
I know how to do paper mache. That would be crystallized. That's information that you can get from a book. You can learn that. But there's a lot of other things that you learn along the way that once you make an observation and you make a connection, then you can repeat it. It doesn't just have to be, oh gosh, that was a cool accident. Hope that happens again sometime.
We don't operate that way. We love to analyze the living bejesus out of something and let y'all know that we know what's happening and then make that part of the thing.
Part of the thing. I can remember coming out of a movie with Mariah when she was about 6 or 7 years old. And I was it was summer school. We were in Greeley. And I was taking some literature classes, women's literature classes. And so I was really, my brain was in the analytical mode. And so we're coming out and I'm talking about the movie and she says, do you ever just go in and watch it? And I'm just like, no, why would I want to do something like that? That wouldn't be any fun.
Just enjoy it to enjoy it?
Yeah.
No. Let's analyze the crap out of this and make everybody crazy. That's more my speed.
Yeah.
Dad was that way too. You couldn't watch anything with math with him.
Oh, it was terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah. All right, now this is the bracelet that I covered with the tin foil and made it all smooth, right?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to the one that was all crumpled up, right? And then look at what happened here. How do you get that transparency? You use water down medium. I mean, we're talking about the sloshy stuff. Can you hear that? Okay, this. And even your brush needs to have water on it. What it does is it creates that transparency.
Hi, Anina.
And remember, these were just plain old napkins. Like the kind that you get at Sonic.
Yeah, they probably actually were Sonic napkins.
It very well could have been.
This seems right.
And that's how you get that beautiful blue. That blue right there is the same blue as that.
Mm-hmm. And then what's showing through is the foil.
And the foil is
what's reflective.
Altering the color of the...
Y'all get all that?
Did you get all that?
Let us know. Let us know in the comments.
Look at that wonderful signature in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right.
Oh, Walter has a question.
All right.
About how many layers of paper or foil are on one of those smooth bracelets? Kind of one layer of each.
Oh, well, now that just depends. Because this is made from the file folders.
Originally.
And I figured out a way to tuck it in so that I'm trying to find... Okay. Can you see this one? See how there's a bump there?
Oh.
This was before I figured that out. It's the tuck.
Burp.
So what you do is you make it hollow, and then you take a piece of cardboard, and you tuck it into both of them, squeeze them together, and tape it off, and you don't even know where the seam is. Hey, you are getting the benefit of a lot of trial and errors.
A lot of bracelet making.
A lot of bracelet making.
Redoing.
And, the whole thing about it is that I know that now. I know what happened there.
Right.
But that doesn't really bother me. I sort of like that.
But the tape rolls are so if you really want
this is a tape. Yeah, this is a tape
roll.
roll. You can tell immediately.
It's
symmetrical. It hasn't been altered in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. But this is a file folder. And I think maybe I could say that maybe that was it. But I don't know. It could have been right over here, too.
Who knows?
Okay. Then I wrap it with tape. The file folders I wrap with tape because they're squishy.
Yes.
You need to get some stability there. And anyway.
And then foil.
And then I foil it. I don't know if I foiled this or not. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I just go ahead and tape.
The foil is more about creating form and bumpy.
It is. And the reason I used it on this one is because I hadn't ever done that before. I wanted to see if that surface. But you can see, look at that.
Right. You were using the foil more
I was using
a base
as a decorative
coat.
rather than a structural. Yes. Good point, Mariah. All right. Now, you remember what this one looked like. This was the one that was purple. And it had things on it. Little drawy doodads. But look at it now. It looks almost like marble.
Yeah, and Rhonda says so she likes the cuff idea. I think if you wanted a cuff, probably the way that I would go about it, and I don't know if we did this in the original video. Supposedly somebody asked, and we may have. I haven't gone back to watch it because, time. And that was 3 years ago.
I just don't really like, quite honestly, I don't like cuffs. I find they dig into your arm.
Mine slide too much sometimes.
I have some cuffs, but I would not make a cuff bracelet because I don't really like them. This is just a lot easier.
But I think if you wanted to do it, because you would want it to fit you, but that's kind of the luxury of this type of build is that you can make it fit to you. You want it to probably leave enough of a,
yeah, and you have to remember that one of the ways that you get that on there is you dig it into your arm.
It's going to have to fit well enough.
And I don't know that you're going to have the structural integrity for that to be a constant on and off thing. I think after a while you're going to have a breakdown.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea. But hey, try it out.
You're not going to know. We want to know. And if you do a video about it, let us know and talk about us, please.
Okay.
You can talk about how wrong we were. That's fine too.
Yeah, it is.
We're down with that.
And really, right now, it's a preference. I just don't like cuff bracelets so very much. I thought they were wonderful at one time. But not so much now when my skin is a little more sensitive. It's thinner than it used to be. And some of them, I find myself not wearing them so much anymore because they're uncomfortable to get on and off. Okay. Now, here, remember the lace that I showed you? I've still got it here. So.
Hi, Jocelyn.
And I'll show you what I did with it. Because this is some lace that just left me.
Jeanette Vilda gave to us.
Thank you, Jeanette Vilda, Germany. Okay, so what I did here is I cut down the middle here so that I had a circle on each side. When you pull these, look what happens. They ellipsoid on you. So I ellipsoided them because I didn't. Here's the thing. I couldn't get them to go on here.
Yes, that is correct. Paula.
So that it fit. It was either too much or not enough. So I stretched them and made these little things here.
Hold that up into the technology a bit more and then kind of give it a side. There you go. Because then you'd see more of the bumpiness of them. I suggested kind of leaving them a little more thin, but she's got her own ways of doing things. Paula says, tape rolls. Could you not add layers onto the outside? Just one or two as the final all the way around to keep the inner size.
Absolutely.
That is exactly right.
That is it. Yes. And I think that was actually, this was a tape roll.
Yeah.
And just added that outside layer. And then, if it's too big and you want it smaller, you can add more stuff on the inside.
Legia says she has been saving her tape rolls. Now she has a reason. And here's another cool idea. So if they are the thinner, 1 inch tape width, you can put them together. You can glue them together.
If you want them, wider.
Or, use the masking tape, to get them wider or whatever. Now, remember.
This is like.
Don't get crazy with your width because you still kind of
Yeah.
It allows for your arm to move more.
I like to wear multiples rather than just. That's why really, another thing you can do, and I have some that someone sent me. I put them somewhere. I don't know where they are.
Those plastic forms?
Yes.
I know. And I
I don't know what
I don't
did
know
with
where they
them.
went.
I feel like they're in a bag with some other stuff.
They may be up in that, like the puppet making business,
Could
or
be.
there's a thing down here that I think they might have ended up in.
But that's another thing that you can do. Just keeping in mind, you can glue them together,
Mm-hmm.
tape them together, or you can hot glue them.
And that would be cool because you could even create
some other
texture
textures with
stuff there. Because
yeah.
the nice thing is even if like if you were just to leave hot glue onto plastic, it's gonna peel off or whatever. But the fact that you're only doing it as a form, as a structural kind of decorative situation, then what's gonna happen is you're gonna put your stuff over it, and so it'll lock it in and could leave some really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool things could happen there.
I just think that once you really start thinking about this whole process, it's going to become more meaningful to you because you are thinking of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's your
Mm-hmm.
you want to wear cuffs. Great. Okay, I think I've talked about all of these.
Hey, I think even what would be kind of interesting is if you could make a snaky kind of one where it.
Oh yeah.
Because I think there's still enough give even in the paper, with creating the form with the foil and everything. That might be kind of fun.
Oh,
snaky
seriously.
She might not be done with the bracelets.
I might not be done with bracelets. Now, I want you to see this. Can you see how I'm smushing it?
Oh, it's smushy.
It's
a stress bracelet.
When I was doing this, I thought, I need to put at least 2 more layers on there to really stiffen that up. Then I thought, why?
No.
This is kind of cool. I mean, you put it on your arm.
Wear it to the doctor and you can just squeeze it.
Yeah, it isn't one that you want to hold and knock somebody out with, but yeah. This would be that one. I mean,
It's got some weight.
Yeah, it's solid. This one's solid also.
The other thing I was thinking about this morning is, and possibly the hot glue would be a cool thing with this, is like, so if you have like those clear marbles or any marbles, you could actually set them into, the outer rim there, kind of glue them in. And then as you're paper macheing, if you create enough of a hold of them, and then you could even probably you could cover it, and then as it's drying, once it's dry enough, come around and clear it out. So that way it's a nice, if you want to clean or if you wanted to just pick it off so where it's kind of crumbling out. I mean, there's all kinds of things to do there, but I thought that would be fun.
Well, and Mariah's absolutely right about that. I even thought about that, setting some jewels.
Yes.
In some of these. And especially these ones that are kind of smushy, like this one. You could draw the size of your jewel there, cut into this because it's very, very smushy, and create that.
So set it after. I think it would probably be a lot easier if you kind of keep it in mind during, at the start of the build. But
right.
You could always set it after too. Yeah.
Yeah. Now remember, this is the one that I did with the crinkle paper. All right, everybody got that. And the other thing that I didn't do, but remember when we were talking about using paper towels, and Mariah and I have these bags of different colored paper towels.
We saved them.
I
can't tell you how many things those have been in.
So, anyhow, now any questions about any of these? I did want to talk about these. Yeah, I'm not quite finished yet. Okay, so I've got I really went crazy with the purple.
I love purple.
Because I knew that Mariah would take 2 of these anyway, and she just can't have this one.
That's the one I want.
Well, of course it is.
It's the best one out of the bunch.
It's the best one out of the bunch. She does have good taste. Again, I'm pretty sure this is a file folder because you can tell it's not as big as the...
They're not as uniform.
They're not as uniform. You can just kind of tell. They're a little bit wonky and whatever, but I think I did a pretty good job of putting them together. So, it was kind of orange. Can you see how that's showing through? Well, that's the places where I had used a lot more water with my brush so that it's that other layer is showing through.
Again, I think this is just another example, another proof of when you have variety of transparencies, different colors and layers, you are going to add more interest, more depth. When you have more flat, uniform colors, there's really nothing wrong with that. But again, this is more interesting.
And really, honestly, what I did on this one was I covered it with that other print that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went around it like this. And then I went around the inside the same way. Then I came back and over the top because I didn't have a lot of it left. In fact, I only have a couple of pieces left of this purple. And tore them out and put them on. And then I did the same thing over here.
That's kind of my second favorite right there. With a little bit of red.
Because it's
splashy.
got that, yeah, and that's just that was from the print. And I didn't put anything on the bottom because it ran out. Yeah. So you can use napkins. I'm telling you, you need to be very, very.
Oh, that's a lovely observation, Janet. She says the flat section is wonderful, especially for people who need to write while wearing it.
Yeah. And that's just something that
that just happened.
Just happened. I don't know.
I'm not rounding it back out.
But you are all right because it's easier.
Yeah, it doesn't kind of push into you in that rounded area.
It gives you a more.
Yeah.
Rather than just the points here and here.
Look at us making things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Oh, Paula can't even wear a watch. I used to love wearing my watch, and then I stopped wearing it because it stopped working. And then, now when we are doing certain things here, it does bother me to have the jewelry on, especially on my right hand. And when I'm down there working and typing. But if we're just out and about and doing things, I like wearing the jewelry.
I do too. And I'm sure that this is one that Mariah is probably going to.
It goes with my shirts.
Yeah. And I think, look at how beautiful it looks with this
combo.
And I do wish I could find the other bracelets because they're rather thin. And I would like to work with them because I like to wear multiples. And when you wear, you have these, you've got to really rely on having.
It only gives you about 3.
Yeah. You can see that. And if I'd put this on first, I could get that all the way back. But yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now.
Hi, Marguerite. No worries, Janice. Thanks for hanging. Give those thumbsy upsies if you haven't already. Those of you that are coming in, do say hello in the chat so we can say hello back.
Voila.
That concludes this round of bracelet making.
That concludes this. That is not to say that there won't
be more.
But
and I do think another day we need to do.
And I'm kind of really, I'm very intrigued by Mariah's idea with the coiled.
Yes.
And I don't know really how exactly to make that happen.
I got ideas. We need to get together. I'll tell you how to do it, and then you can do it your way.
Okay. And I'm saving.
There's suggestions to get her,
And I don't mind sending some of this stuff off, but I really.
Yes, it's very good.
This one right here, this is a once in a lifetime.
Hey, and that was done during a stream.
It was.
One stream, I think. Now, it might have been pulled, the final pull. But...
And the reason is because all of these little pieces, remember how laboriously I placed them on there?
It was a good 10 minutes of the stream.
I'm sure everybody was going, oh my God, when is she going to do something? This is driving me crazy. But
this is how we do.
Yeah. And I'm really happy to have my tissue paper. Because this is really, my next thing that I'm going to do here. Using tissue paper.
What's the next thing, Patricia?
The next thing that we're going to do here. Now, I've got my pebble.
She's got a new box.
I'm going to show you. We're going to talk about fluid.
You dug that out of the trash, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. No, actually, I think this is one that Izzy brought me.
Oh, yeah, she does that.
Yeah. All right, so here's a good example. Crystal intelligence would be saying, oh, I recognize that's in the violet family. Fluid intelligence is learning how to make it and then make it into something else. So remember when we were doing the grays?
I didn't.
We were using complementary colors, in this case, yellow and violet. That's what color that is. And I just kept putting it on here. And see when it says plus violet, though, that means I added a little bit more violet, a little bit more violet. And then down here, I added some yellow. And I wrote a note out here. Too much. Then I needed to add too much red. Okay? So then I put some green with it. And then down here, we started adding plus white to this mixture right here. And here it is, and then it goes here, and then it goes here. So this is carbon black with titanium white, black iron oxide with titanium white, bone black with titanium white, and Mars black with titanium white. So all of a sudden, your crystallized intelligence of the concept of gray expands as, number one, you understand how to make it from 2 other colors. Well, actually 3, considering, it's a secondary color. Or taking a dark color and adding light to it to make. That's examples of the fluid intelligence. Another example of fluid intelligence, I think, is being able to recognize how to use a tool in a different way. So I needed places to put my bracelets as they were drying. So I just stuck this nice little sharp jobby right underneath my computer and its shelf.
Why did you go dark?
I had 3 things here. What?
Oh, you were messing with my... Okay, there. I got her back. She went dark.
So these little things became my things to put my bracelet on to help them dry.
Yeah, chopsticks,
whatever.
pokey tools,
tools,
long wands.
Oh, these things are great because number one, nothing slides on this.
They're silicone.
Yeah, the chopstick is a little bit slippery, and it's also kind of graduated there, and it has a tendency to slide.
Right.
Okay, so this was my other solid purple that I used a lot of. So I do have some of that left. I could share that. I could share that with my swap partner.
There you go.
All right, so what do I have in here? I've got napkins. Imagine that. And I think these are some of the same ones that I used for that other business.
That other business?
That other business. They're they're not anything to write home about special. I don't even know what they are, but yeah, I don't know. They came, something was wrapped up in these, obviously. All right, now, this particular thing right here is an example of fluid intelligence. Crystallized intelligence, you recognize this as a container that carries strings. Fluid intelligence says, what could that become?
Something to drive Mariah crazy.
Yes. And, Izzy brings me stuff. Okay, she brought me this. I don't know if all of you remember back in the day when there were little picture albums, and they were called brag. I don't know. Help me out here. But you would fix them up for the grandmother and would have pictures of you and your children in them, and she would carry it in her purse. A little tiny one, little tiny picture album. Somebody was really doing some marketing there, because number one, we know that grandmothers buy that kind of crap all the time. It's an emotional draw. So Izzy brought me this little thing. She said, Gigi, I don't know if you want this, but I really look at how it fits in there. Okay, so here's what I thought this could become. It could become that same concept, but on the inside, you would make the little card so that they fit in here with the child's picture. And then on the back, you could write the date and something funny that they say, or something funny that they do, or, maybe related to what the topic on the front.
I love these ideas. I want to do things about this, but they take We
Yeah.
used to make things like that. And I had, usually like anywhere from 20 to 50 hours worth of video that I would then.
Yeah. Well, she has other things she's doing now, and I haven't been able to take over that part.
Mm-hmm. She didn't know how to turn the camera on.
I don't. Yeah. Well, I do now, but maybe I do. I don't know.
She.
Yeah. I just have to make sure that it's aimed down at my area, not the ceiling. I just have visions of this. Okay. I think about this in terms of art supplies. You could put toilet paper rolls in here.
Lynn, of course, Lynn would. Granny brag books.
Yes. Granny brag book. Mimi had.
Really?
Yeah. I made her a couple. Well, I had to redo it after you were born because I did one for Nate.
There were more pictures of Nathan.
Well, we had, yeah. Okay, Nathan was a difficult child.
Second child never
Mariah was, an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Nathan was like, oh my God. He was like that dog that you take back to the pound.
Just wear you out.
Yeah, just wear you out. I mean, didn't matter what you do. He would go till he dropped. And I would drop a lot earlier than he would. I can remember being pregnant with Mariah. We lived in a townhouse, and I was sitting on the stairs just overwhelmed, right, with everything, and just boo-hooing. And
Hi, Jeannie.
He came up and he put his arms around me. He says, Mommy, what's wrong? And I said, I'm just going to run away. And he said, can I go with you? And I said, oh, hell no, that's why I'm running away. So he was this was back in the day when they didn't know the sex of the baby before the baby was born. So, we didn't know. We were hoping that Mariah was a girl, for God's sake. I already had one of those other things with a handle. And anyhow, we were brought, he in order for Mariah to be born, we sent him home with his Mimi, and he was just thrilled to death.
Yeah, because he did no wrong there.
There were no boundaries, there were no rules.
He was the most wonderful thing in the whole wide world.
Yes, and he was obviously the dominant presence there at that household. So anyway, Mariah's born, and Mimi and Granddad Pat brought Nathan back, and they had purchased for him the Ranger, the Lone Ranger and Tonto. Was that the horse?
Yes.
Okay, so it's an action figure, the horse. Yeah, articulated limbs, and so does whatever. And he came in and he looked at Mariah, and he stood there and he said, is that my baby brother? And I already knew where this conversation was going. And I said, no, honey, it's your baby sister. He whacked the Lone Ranger down on the bed about 3 inches away from baby Mariah's head and said, take her back and get me a brother.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a lot of counseling to get him into them. But he would be so frustrated.
Not formal, just,
He would. There were some, but we didn't leave him alone with her, needless to say.
That's good.
But he had this doll that he had since he was like 2 years old.
The Raggedy Ann one.
No, this was. They were called Peaches. They had fluffy skin. Well, she had worn off most of the fluff because he really liked her.
Are y'all enjoying this? I hope so.
Played with her a lot, and she went out in the sandbox.
Rubbed her fur off.
Rubbed her fur right off. She was
flocked no more.
Yeah, her flocking was only in places that you couldn't get to. Anyhow, so he used to take Dolly up the top of the stairs, and he says, "All right, you little Dolly, this is what you get." And he'd stand at the top of the stairs, and he'd sock her and knock her down the stairs. And I said, Nathan, does that make you feel better? And he looked at me and he said, yes. Yeah. I thought, well, as long as he's taking, I said, you do realize that it's okay for you to do that with your Dolly, but not with your sister. And he looks at me like,
I can't believe you have to say that.
I know that. I'm like, well, I am
I was
happy
not
to
sure.
hear that.
Right, I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Good call.
Yeah. What is this? Okay, so not only do we have interesting things that we find and we can use in our art, but listen to that.
I do like that sound.
I mean, it sounds like rain pattering on the rooftop.
I do miss that. Like, what's so cool is we ended up our patio area. We ended up having a metal roof put out there, and that's one thing that I really love. And it reminds me of like we had a townhouse and we'd put a metal roof thingy on it, and I love that sound.
Yeah. Plus, you can sit out there without getting drenched.
Unless it's coming in sideways, which it does often.
Sometimes, yeah, in Texas it does. All right, now
we don't get the nice.
Here's the other thing for, and I always tape my seams on these kind of boxes because this is kind of it says ever so slightly flimsy.
Well, it's meant to break down.
Yeah,
to put in the recycle bin.
Well, I think I got it before it got there. I think I just got it off the counter. It doesn't have any food particles on it, so I'm thinking maybe
Yeah.
But you want to buff out that because you want it really to stick and adhere. And when I came back to this today, a lot of it I noticed I hadn't done that because obviously it was coming up.
Oh, Tonto was the guy and the horse was Silver.
Silver, okay, Tonto or Lone Ranger and Silver, and I'm not sure.
Oh, Tonto was the sidekick.
Yeah, he was the Native American person that.
It was before,
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now, here's why this pebble is really... Now, somebody said recommended a spoon, and a spoon will work just fine.
We like Wingstop, and it's keto. So, it's a nice little,
So that fits into those little corners and those 90-degree angle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well...
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
if perpendicular. Perpendicular angles that are created from, planes of whatever. All right, now you can see down in there, it was...
Math by an artist.
Yeah.
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 There we go.
Okay, you can see this is really hard to do down in there. And I noticed I didn't do a very good job of that.
Yeah. Yep.
So, if that does happen, no worries. Just go over the top of it. Because remember, the more layers that you have, the more structural integrity. Well, I mean, up to a point. I mean, you don't want to fill it up, and then you wouldn't have a vessel. You'd have a thing. I want to look at that little piece of...
What? What is it? Oh, one of your things. Yeah. I mean, that could be the
put
piece
that over there. That'll be just the piece I need.
Yeah.
All right. Now, see where it is there? And it's kind of like lifted. Give it another little rubby dub. Rubby dub till it's...
Are you going to use all your scraps and everything to cover this here box?
What I'm going to do is I'm not going to do anything with this box. Because I don't want you to watch me paper mache it. Dear God.
Oh, but you are going, just behind the scenes. So, next episode, you might,
Next episode, hopefully, I will have this ready.
Something.
To put the, stuff on it. Okay?
Wonderful.
Well, I'm happy that you're
I'm pleased.
On board with me here.
Yeah, well,
all right, so that's what's going to happen.
She didn't run this by me.
I didn't think it was necessary.
It wasn't.
I knew that you would agree with all of it.
All of it.
All of the above.
Other than the saving of the box thing. But now that it's saved, we're all on board.
I mean, just think about it. This could be a little thing that you carry with you down to the other table if you're just going to do your pencils or your whatever in there.
I will say, okay, here's some thoughts and whatnot, because this happens around here all the flipping time. In fact, Izzy has saved these before, and I have utilized them. But the problem, she does not stay contained to one container. There are multiple containers,
multiple container,
and it is so much like her Gigi, where there's just all kinds of things in multiple containers. Where I'm like, no, I want this container to contain these things, and this for this thing. And there's not a lot of that.
She just wants to contain us.
I really do.
And it's good that she at least admits that.
I am not against containment as in the matter of things that just get strewn about everywhere.
Strewn about. All right. So we're back to...
She absorbed as much of that as she wanted to, and now we're moving on.
Moving on. Okay, I really do like this wallpaper
Bye,
stuff.
Sophia.
And I'm kind of, I don't know if it would roll, but it might be a good substrate to use for... The reason I like file folders is they're the perfect weight. They're still lightweight enough you can mold them and they're malleable. But you know, if you get stiff cardboard, it crinks.
Yeah.
And gets weird on you. So it's not a good thing. All right, I want to show you this because
where did
see
this
the bottom
come
of
from?
this?
Where did this come from? When did you work on this?
Well, it was in my last episode where I was doing all the boxes and I got tired of it.
Yeah.
But you can see on the bottom.
Hey, Liz.
It was, I think it's, yeah. I don't know what it was, but you can still see the imprint of the.
I think it's for the jars.
Could be. But I had to do some work here, and I mean,
or mushrooms.
It could be, yeah. From Costco, you know, where you get a whole bunch of stuff.
From Costco.
Now I had to come in and do some missionary work on the end here, and it isn't perfect.
I'm gonna reach out to Costco and see if they will sponsor us in any way.
This has,
because God knows we give lots of love to Costco.
We do that. This has a lot of coats of paper mache because it's a wobbly box, and you will know wobbly boxes when you pick them up. They wobble.
They wobble,
but it no longer wobbles.
No wobble.
See that? Yeah. Multiple layers. And you can still see some of the layers in here. But I think once I really was concerned about that. But I'm not anymore because once you get the paper on there, you're not going to be able to see those little tiny cracks that are out there. Trust me. And it also has about 3 coats of gesso.
Yeah.
That's important.
There's lots of work in that.
There's probably 20 hours of work in this little jobber right here.
And we haven't even got to decorating it.
Haven't even got to decorating it.
We were stabilizing. We were gathering, stabilizing, layering. Gessoing.
It just takes a lot of that. And I talked to you about the different kinds of, and this is what I used in this. This is newsprint. It's my, other than paper towels. And if you're having trouble getting something to stick, like if you use the masking tape and it's slick, this paper's not good. Use your layer of paper towel. Then if you need another layer to make it.
What she means by slick is, so the tape itself, you know, the exposed part of the tape sometimes has a slicky finish to it.
It does. And it's hard to get the slick paper to adhere to the slick tape. So it's best just to go ahead and do a layer of paper towels.
Because it will stick. And
it
create
will stick.
A rough surface to then do another layer
of the more smooth.
Hi, Marisa.
If you want to. I mean, you know, it's one of those things. You'll look at it and say, oh, yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I don't think I need to.
I don't know. When did you do boxes? Let's see.
Okay. So now we're going to get back to the gel prints that we're going to cover this with and talk about it. I'm going to have to put the over there for a sec because we're going to. You're going to need. I know this is just itching like crazy.
I see that.
I hope I already had a sneezing attack this morning, and I just feel like it's going to start again.
Well,
I hope not.
You've been sleeping with your window open.
I have been sleeping with my window. It's lovely, 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 lovely. What you do to figure this out, how much you're going to need? It's just I didn't get to look at all of these, so I want to look at these.
I just want to look at these. I need another looky-loo at these. Y'all ready for another little look at these?
Oh yeah, these are the crackle ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily think that that's what I want. I don't think I'm interested in the crackle. Now I do like this.
So did you do that box when you did the little, your compartment one?
Oh, could be.
Because that was done
Yeah.
June of last year, so over a year ago.
Yeah, I think you were absolutely right. And it took me forever because remember I used well, you want to go get that and we can give that most of you have already seen that. Now, where this crackle comes in really handy is if you want to do a bracelet and you suddenly decide halfway through you'd really like there to be some color. This is so easy to just take one of your washes, your transparent colors, and come in here and you can color that.
I don't know where you want to put this. And then I thought this was a good one to do too.
Oh yeah, Susie said she'd really like that. I have my lavender in there.
It smells lovely.
It does smell lovely. All right, let me wrap this up because I'm not going to.
Yeah, wrap it up, lady.
I'm going to. It's just so funny.
I snorted. That was so funny.
I'm tying it up, Mariah. I'm not wrapping it up. Okay.
Some wrap it, some tie it. We don't judge.
So remember this one? This is really great. What I use this for, I don't have any in there right now, is my chocolate. So what I do is I put all of them out the same color. And then as I empty out that box, I turn one of the other colors around so I know that that's, I don't have to waste time.
Right. When you need that chocolate, you got to get her done and eat it before.
But remember how we did these? We actually laid them down over this box and see the number in there?
Mm-hmm. Because it's important. Because they
don't fit in every one.
No. Because the little box, the tray thing.
It's weird.
Yep.
And then some of these are boxes from Vans Mez. And then some of them are boxes from half and half.
Oh, Paula's nosy husband just came in and handed her a small sellotape, packing tape roll. Can you use this for one of your bracelets or something? Look at that.
All right, he's a keeper. You don't want to get rid of him.
We like him.
Yeah.
He likes to be a little bit of a smart ass sometimes too, and I like that about him.
But remember,
I appreciate it.
This was one of the ones that I did using Fran's, the outers of one of her stencils.
Oh, and actually I'm glad that you said that because that's a nice segue back into the suspicious sprouts that P had done. And I couldn't find the stream because I don't know that I featured it or I just, again, while I'm trying to watch chat and everything and trying to find videos, it's still tricky. But that particular one was a long haul and it was the piece. No, it was from the stencil, but you cut the stencil up. It was not the inner bits.
It was the outer bits, but I even cut up.
No. It was the actual stencil because remember we connected them, so they come with a frame attached. You had cut them up.
Yes, because I didn't like them like that.
Right, you wanted to be able to move them around and do whatever you wanted to do with them, and that was actually originally how Rhonda had them. But we were like, for containment purposes and ease of getting them off the mat a little faster, it's a lot nicer for us to have that frame around them because then we can.
Yeah, well, I cut them all apart.
But if you want to cut yours apart, that gives you the option to do that as well.
Yeah, and I think I've since used them elsewhere.
Uh-huh.
But I love this little guy. It got filled in and kind of lost in the shuffle. But oh, it's got a jar of cream in here right now. I was trying to get everything gussied up.
Good call, Rhonda. So yeah, she released the suspicious sprouts on 3/10/24. So that was this year, March, right? Yeah, February, March. There's almost a year coming up on. But yes, it would have been around that time. And then
This is a soy sauce bottle that I just did weird cut around the edge.
Yeah.
Actually,
Costco.
actually, it was a lot tougher bottle than I thought, so it really wasn't intentional Ripley. I kind of had to go with that.
Right. That's what was happening.
Because some, like, especially on the corners here, you
Yeah.
can tell it's really thick. It was hard. And then this is Paula's,
Yes.
one of my favorite.
The rune blocks.
Yeah.
And then she cut those out, like once she had printed with it, because they're all kind of together, and then she cut those out.
Yeah.
And placed them on there. Yeah.
Glued them down. I love this because I can walk by and shake it.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that when I was moving around. Do you want me to take that back now?
Yeah. So I think that's so one of the things that you can think about, if you're hard pressed for gifts at Christmas time, this is just a lovely thing. I mean, who would not want? Oh, Mariah, could you bring the bead thing? Yes, and the bead bars are up on that little paper thing. I want to talk about this very quickly because it is something that you need to consider. What is the box going to be used for? And I made a mistake when I did this box because I really needed to have a plain bottom in it where it didn't have anything except a white bottom to better see the beads and pick them out. Because now with all of that other stuff going on in there, it's kind of it's distracting and it's hard for you to pick up.
Well, I can't hold that thing and this thing at the same time. So here's this.
Well, just pull it off. Pull the bead bars.
Oh, okay.
They're on that thing. Okay. Now this is what I was talking about. This is it's quite lovely. And I've got these little earring parts that I took apart. On the bottom, it has this lovely print with the sunflowers. But these are the beads that I use on my bead bar. Izzy made this one. And I felt really bad about accusing her of taking them because I'd put them up on the thing so I could find them. So they get tired of digging through here. But if I were to do this over again, I would have the bottom just be a plain color rather than. But this, look at this. I mean.
Oh, yeah, definitely. These cover any and everything. An egg carton would be cool because you could have like little, little different holder things. Oh, and that would be cool for jewelry, for rings. Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, one thing you want to keep in mind, anything that's like a hinged area. So like if you wanted the egg crate or the egg carton to continue being open and closed, really be mindful of when you are putting things in that seam area. Also keep in mind, as you are adding weight and that you're creating something that's probably going to be used more often, you want to also bulk up that hinge a bit.
Well, you could even put hinges.
Oh, real hinges on it.
Glue some hinges on. I've seen that done also.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so here's a little copper-colored bead cap, very large.
It
I'll
is.
put that over at the side. And these are just beads that Izzy found out here. I like these because they're good separators. But here's the bead bar.
Oh, Zinja wants to know. So, what is the best paper mache glue? So we really love that Blick acrylic stuff. That worked really well. I mean, you can use a little bit of more watered down craft PVA glue if you are concerned about it being more archival. Then pay attention to which types of mediums you are purchasing and if they are archival. Again, it's not a huge deal, but if you want it to not discolor over time. Yeah, school glue and water.
Yeah. That's basically,
I love this stuff.
This is a bead that I made.
This is the Montmartre craft glue, which is basically the same as like school glue, a little higher end, ever so slightly, not much, but price-wise, it's lovely. You usually get them in a 3-pack. Have this listed in our Amazon store. So we like the Montmartre stuff.
I do. It's really reasonably priced.
And it still keeps a bit of a smush. That's where like the kids' school glue. Be careful with those because they harden up to a point where they will crack.
Yeah.
So if it's something that is being more is it utilitarian?
Utilitarian.
Then you know, because you're going to be touching it more, moving it more. You have a lid that's this. You want something that has just a bit more movement, like because this is meant for like sort of book building, you know, book binding. You want that little bit of give that it allows. Yes.
And then you put your chain through there. So you have an individualized pendant. Now you notice some of the beads that pardon me, that I tried to get through there did not fit.
Yeah.
That's a bummer, but if they are like the wooden one, the ebony one, I can take and
bore it out.
Bore it out because I've got a special tool for that and I can't remember where it is exactly.
It's over here.
This is a cloisonne bead. This is a really old cloisonne bead. That I think is quite lovely. And I have a whole a little tin's worth of silver beads that I use in between these. I don't happen to have them in here. This is a really cool bead from Thailand that my sister got me. It's oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. This is a tool that where's my, oh, that one's okay. Here, I think that's ebony.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can literally ream them out.
There's always a tool for that.
There's always a tool for that. And instead of trying to go all the way through, go through both sides.
Hey, and with the little glass ones, be careful because if you push, it'll crack them.
Little glass ones. But what I've noticed about some of these glass ones, a lot of them will have, see that white stuff inside there?
You can get a little
bit. You can wet that and get that out of there because what that is it keeps it from melting onto the wires when they put it in the kiln.
Yeah.
So yeah, glass beads, I don't recommend this.
Jen's telling herself, no, Jen, you do not need to take beadwork up as yet another hobby now.
Now it fits on there.
No, really, all you have to do is just if you have beads, get a bead bar.
Get a bead bar. But just make sure your beads have large orifices.
Yes, that fit the bead bar.
Mm-hmm. Because otherwise, yeah, probably not going to be such a great idea. And I can't, they're not called bead bars. What are they called, Mariah?
Hold on, and okay.
I have the hardest time finding them. And they come in different lengths. But, I mean, they're just so cool. I love them. I know we got off topic there, but I'm telling you, I made this bead and I spent hours on this bead. These are called African spinning beads. They would put these on the end of their fiber, and then this would hold it down and give it some weight, so that then they could spin it. I have different ones of those. These are from, I think, Bali.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're some kind of African. And these are resin.
There you go, Zinja.
Yeah,
I don't know what they call them. Why do we not ever remember that? Because we always just call it a bead bar. And then I can't ever...
we can't ever find it. These are from the Salt Lake in Hebron. Hebron. These little beads have actual gold in them, and this little bead here cost about $15.
Hold it up into the technology a little bit more, because there you go. Now you can really appreciate how it...
Yeah, and I've got some more of those somewhere. I think they're actually on a necklace. This is carnelian. This is also old carnelian from the flea market. I know that doesn't look like carnelian, but it is. This is a lamp worked bead.
Aw, hey Dawn. No worries.
So cool because it's woven silver.
I love that bead. Hopefully y'all are enjoying this as much as we do.
Anyhow, this fits in. I have a shelf in my bedroom that has about this much clearance.
Changeable pendant holder. Which, I think they just called the damn thing a bead bar. Drives me crazy.
Okay, so you're saving that?
Changeable pendant is usually what it's referred to.
Okay.
Changeable bead pendant.
Yeah. Just look for beads that have large orifices. These sand cast beads are great because usually they're pretty. These are old African trade beads. And then the layered ones, I've got one here. See that one? You can count the layers. The more layers it has, the more valuable the bead is. This is from India, but I think it has some really cool kind of textural content there.
I need to talk to Becky. See if
this is one that my sister brought me back from Nepal. It's actually a shell and then an inlaid This is I don't know if it's ebony, but it's black wood.
Oh, see, Sherry knows them as bead bars. Well, but when you search it online, not a lot comes up.
Okay, check this out. Look at this face.
Yes.
Okay, I got 24 of these for $1 a piece on eBay. Probably 15 years ago.
Probably longer than that.
Probably longer than that. You know, time is a relative thing. When she was little, of course, she had to watch her because she put them in her mouth.
Yeah, she would. Or take them because she liked them and she'd put them in places.
Yes.
All of a sudden, you'd find this little.
She would always look for the bumpy bead.
That's my bead. That is actually my bead.
Yeah.
From Albuquerque. That I remember.
I know, and I can show you the one that I got at this.
That was about a $10 bead right there.
It was $5 bead. They can be. And this is one of my jade Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
I was really into jade there for a while.
Ann Webb says, "Do we need more beads?" I don't know if she's asking for a friend or. What do you mean?
Got some that you don't see here? Yeah. Send them on. And I love this little thing. It's really it's too tiny for but it's
Are they good silver ones though? Because that's the other thing. Be careful when you're buying those bead bars because some of them are just junk. You want to
pay for a little higher dollar bead bar
because there's nothing more irritating, sad, maddening than because the threading on it matters.
It does, and it's easy for it to get off thread.
And then then you lose, you put $5-10 beads on there and lost $50 worth of beads.
Here's a lamp worked bead.
Yeah, so.
Kind of looks like my,
Anne, you need to come over and we can just hang out.
Yes, does she live close by?
Mm-hmm. This is our Anne from, well, I mean, it's not, in Texas it's close.
Yeah, it's certainly.
Texas terms. She may want to stay the night, I don't know. We can arrange that.
Yeah, we do have a conversation.
We trust you. We've met you before.
Yes, she lives on the other part of town.
Yeah, the other part of town. The other part of DFW, but you know.
But we do. That would be so much fun. I would enjoy it.
It's drivable.
It's drivable, she says.
Here, now I'm coming around.
All right. So now we need to decide. And if you're making this for a specific person, you're going to know what their colors are, maybe even what their needs are. Because a lot of times a little box like this is really handy, and you can take and put little feet on it.
Oh, yeah, you could buy the little ball things. You can glue those on usually, or
yeah,
even if you want
if it needs to be raised up off a surface that might possibly be getting wet, like in your vanity or whatever. And this could be a place where you'd put your perfumes or something, and that would set it up off the...
Because it's a really nice thing, like...
and then when you're dusting, all you have to do is move this.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I take this tray up, the one that you saw with the stamps in it. That's what I use when I clean off my...
Add a felted bottom. That's a very good idea as well.
Add a felted bottom. I would need to put some, at least...
Paulus's bourbon corks. Yeah, cork it.
Yes. And,
actually, that would be pretty cute. Like, if it has the plastic, part, you could, put the cork part to the box. And then that way it'd still have the little plastic feet. And then what would be great is, like, if it was a themed gift for somebody for their bar to, like, hold things. So then you have the bourbon cork little feet. And then if you had cool beer labels, you could, decoupage the whole thing with that.
Or you could take and put caps,
all around. Oh, we love this. We're on board.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. All right, I'm going with this print because I've already used the other one so much that we're all kind of tired of looking at that, right? Oh my gosh, look at that tomato red. Isn't that fab? But that doesn't belong on here. That belongs with this other bunch. I don't know why that's here.
Oh, we would love that, Margie.
Oh, and this
Not a ton, but yes, a few to, like, mix in with the beads. That would be super sweet.
What is it?
She has some handmade paper beads. We're always up to and it's funny because not every, they may make them kind of similarly, but they're always different.
They're always different. Like, we got some from Miriam.
Oh, yes, we have Miriam's. We have some from Peg. I think we even have some from Judy P.
Or Lisa. I always get mixed up who sent.
I'm pretty sure Judy P was the one that did some bead things. But it might have been Lisa.
All right. So, when I'm looking at this and I'm thinking about, I'm not going to be covering it just like I did the boxes.
Yeah. Pieces.
This
is going to be more of a...
No, how I covered the ones that went into the wooden thing. Those are one solid piece.
Right.
That I just put down on the top, and then we cut in between and glued them down.
Right.
That's how we actually did that.
Because you wanted to keep the pattern.
I wanted to keep the pattern, and I didn't want it interrupted. And on this one, I'm not sure yet. So when I'm looking through my prints here, I'm thinking, okay, do we have a similar print that could be incorporated with this? I don't like that very much, but I could change that color. And that's the other thing. If there's a lot of white present there,
it's going to show that whatever...
I have the opportunity of coming through with a unifying color. Parker? And making it all kind of go together. Okay, I really like that turquoise. But again, I don't think that would be enough. Okay, there's the blue. There's some more red. Seems to be really...
Oh, that's a very cool idea. But then, okay, are you going to be missing a top? So, Paula was saying that a carry box, cut one like this in half, glue back to back, and add, or would it, why would you glue it back to back? Like, because you want it to close, right?
I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about.
But that would be pretty nifty, if I'm thinking about that right.
I'm not getting the drift of whatever it is you're talking
about. Oh, that would be very cool. So, Rhonda says she just had a thought. One could glue cards or tags or ATCs around the edges, sticking up to make a taller, broader all the way, or border all the way around.
Absolutely.
Love that idea.
Absolutely. Now, I think two of these is going to be plenty for this, even if I tear it. So I'm not pulling any more of these out.
Yeah. It's best to go through your little stacks of papers and, you know, if you roll them up or whatever once in a while, because they get, you know, they need to be unstuck.
Yeah. They don't seem to be, you know, terribly.
Yeah.
No,
After a while, they do finally cure, but.
That was kind of weird.
So back to back for compartments.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with these, and I'm going to change them. I'm going to alter them. Make them more.
I need to see a picture of that.
Yeah, I'm certainly not following that.
Oh, I'm glad you're here, Becky. Becky, do you guys have bead bars? I didn't find it directly on the website, so I didn't share anything yet. But if you don't, would that be something y'all would carry at the bead place? Because we were talking about bead bars, and yes,
they're called changeable.
Yeah, or changeable bead pendants, but the more fancy ones, not cheapy.
Yeah, they are kind of
silver.
pricey.
Yeah.
All right, I've got to take this apart and put this print back with this.
There you go. All right, I'm gonna put a link to the bead place here in the chat. So if y'all want a bead bar, y'all need to contact the bead place and let them know, because she knows how to find these things. Hold on. Putting a link. Actually, I'm going to do the directly to the contact us. All right. Y'all send them an email. Putting that in the chat right now.
Now you can see this business with the tube is a great way to store your prints that you've created from long hauls.
Okay, there you go. I know, but I would rather send them over to the bead place because we know them and we love them. Oh, but the Hill Tribe website sells them solid silver, expensive.
Yeah, I don't know that I would go. Okay, let me tell you what.
You don't want solid silver
because it's too soft.
Yeah, and it will bend.
You want those ones that they're silver plated brass.
There you go.
And they will hold that. And believe me, I've had both kinds. I love the silver ones, but
they're too flimsy.
Yeah, I don't even know.
And the ball will it bends. It bends too much. Yeah.
Too bendy. You don't want that. That is not what you want. All right, now I wanted to talk about different adhesives here. And Mariah, I swear to God, I don't know what I did with the matte finish in this. Do you know?
Do I know the Muffin Man? Yes,
do you know the Muffin Man?
When Izzy says that anymore, it's just like, do you know, Mommy? I'm like, I know the Muffin Man.
Anyway, this comes in both gloss and matte. It just depends on what you want. Sometimes I want matte, sometimes I want gloss.
I think you used it up. It's really what.
Well, I'm kind of thinking maybe I did too, that this is my second.
Yeah.
Because we went hard and heavy there for a while with
If
this.
you need one, maybe that's the other thing I should buy from Blick. Because I think they carry that.
They carry the Amsterdam, are you sure?
You got to be careful because one you can
extra
find
heavy.
On
gel, medium.
One kind you can find on Amazon, and sometimes it's reasonably priced. It's still pricey, no matter what.
And here's the thing, though. It doesn't have to be extra heavy, medium. I don't even care about that.
That's not true. You do care about that.
Well, I do care about it when I care about it, but I don't care about it for this.
For this. Let's be honest.
Everybody got that.
Because there's a video where she was like, no, I really like this extra heavy.
I really, really do.
This is the stuff I need.
Yeah. All right. So,
yes, us too, Anne. You need to come visit. I'll tell you.
I have this old, and I don't know what you call them, but they were made out of cotton and they have a design in them. And this kind of, they're like repose, except a blanket.
What?
But it has a design in it. Anyway, it used to be white, and you know what happens to white. I don't know what it,
Yellow,
some kind of.
browns.
I had dogs. It had dog print, paw prints in it, or whatever. So I dyed it purple, and I love it.
What is it?
So I'm thinking it's the blanket that I had on my bed that you washed in with my sheets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Purple blanket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It used to be white.
We love purple for decor.
We do. I think purple's a neutral. Yeah. So I'm going to purplize this.
Purplification.
Because I think, number one, it's going to do two things. The area where the red is going to become more of a red violet. That's anyway, that's my thought. And then the areas where it's white, it's just going to be like purple. And this is what I have here to facilitate that. And remember, this has stuff in it. I didn't write it on here. God, I can't believe I didn't do that anyway. All right, well, we'll just put a little bit more in to make sure that we've got it the right. Because it looks like it's awfully strong. And I really do not want it to be strong. I want it to be transparent. I don't use the that thing.
The nozzle.
The nozzle. As I've always got it, blurbing out on me.
Yeah.
Heather and Jan.
And as expressed in the last video.
Yeah, you don't want to get Dick Blick in your eye. It would be kind of hard because I do have glasses. Now, see, I got a little...
She's got protective eye gear.
Got a little purple slobber on my lip there. Yeah.
It's part of artin. I'm going to make sure it says that. It's part of the artin.
Part of the artin?
I'm going to write that one down because that one's good.
A little purple slobber on the lip?
No, that part might just be in tiny.
I thought that was brilliant. Gosh darn it, I'm going to have to do something because nothing fits on my shelves anymore. I just keep, sticking stuff over here. And y'all know. All right, let's give this a little shake until we can hear the balls clanking back and forth. Then we know we've got takeoff.
It's important. Also in art, takeoff.
Don't be afraid to use some. And over here, and somebody was, I think it was Marcia said, could you use the wet wipes for...
Oh, yeah.
Well, of course you can, but let me show you what stage they're probably not the very best use. God dang it.
She has examples.
I don't know what the hell's happening over here. I guess I had it taped down at one time, but that didn't work very well.
It's just trying out things.
I'm trying out things. This booger is stiff enough that you'd have to have a hammer to beat it around whatever form you were trying, because it's just, this is what I wipe her nose with, and I just messed up.
It's the nose wiper.
The nose wiper.
Nozzle wiper.
The nozzle wiper. So, yeah. Well, that's going to be great. I'll just tear that off, and I can use that soft part. Getting so it's kind of like not very absorbent down there on that end.
Yeah.
But I like having that real handy there, and I don't have to pull one out every time, and yeah. Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Perfecto. Now, I don't care if there's little, like, kind of, areas where it's sort of pooled up. I don't mind that because I'm going to squish it around anyway.
Okay. Fair enough, Paula.
Okay. Gotta get a hoodie do here.
You missed some very good opportunities, Eddie. I'm sure that I know you were maybe just listening in the background. That must have been very difficult.
What are y'all talking about?
Just, Eddie was hanging out in the background. But now he's in.
Okay, I'm just trying to get as much of this covered as I can because I know a lot of times I will just need a little piece of something that's kind of solid.
Yeah.
But look at how gorgeous that is. Now, it's a little harder to, do my method of squirting and brushing on the tissue paper. But I just keep, moving it around
and
until
tap it, tap, and
yeah, and it's just, my hands are just getting.
There you go. Hello, Margaret.
Oh, here, this is great because I've got enough moisture in my paper towel that I can take and move that paint around, get it everywhere I want it. Now, that was just a fluke.
That looks beautiful, though.
Bring that paint up through.
You really do want to, for this purpose, and why she's doing the whole washy kind of business, or wash business. Don't want that to confuse with washy. You want it to really be fully saturated.
Yes, and you want it solid.
Yeah. Because like you said, you'll end up with a little tiny piece. You need that piece, but it isn't fully covered, and then you got to go back and do some touch-up work or whatever. And so it's just,
and sometimes it's really not a big deal, but sometimes it really is a big deal.
Because you got to bust out with all the other stuff, and then you're doing one little patch thing, and does the patch look good? Because did you match it up? Just
just best to have it done.
Awesome, Kathy. Thank you for hanging. Those of you that have come in, do say hello in the chat so we can say hello back. We're running on, let's see, you got 13 minutes. Hey.
Okay, well, we might have to just call it a little bit early here. And then I will get back with you as I'm moving along on the box.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that that's probably going to be our
better thing to do there.
Best thing to do there. And what's really nice about, sometimes I say, well, just, mix your colors. Well, sometimes you don't, you want that same color. But I have the advantage that I know I've got plenty here. So if I don't get all of this covered here, I can come back and hit it again.
Just don't alter your mix.
Don't alter your mix.
Yeah, you're done with your project.
Do it that same day.
Because you'll forget.
And then I just move this up.
Oh, Rhonda just bought some more permanent violet dark yesterday. It is it is pricey. Yeah, she got the little one. Because I was like, She's come in from the backside this time.
Well, with the tissue paper, it doesn't really matter. Because it's going to absorb.
Hi, Emma.
It's going to go through.
Wonderful.
And what I'm already thinking about, what's going on in my brain right now, is I'm thinking, okay, so this is kind of a different pattern, just simply because of the way it
right, because it was
presented
probably
itself.
Yeah,
there.
like a second or third pull.
Yeah, it wasn't nearly as dynamic as the other one. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter. I can use this as a background and then come in with some of the more interesting parts.
Good base layer.
It's a good base layer. And remember when I was talking about that with the bracelets?
Mm-hmm.
That I use that one.
Kind of think of it as like a primer.
Yeah. That you just want to get enough down there that you can, and it needs to have a relationship to what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is really saturated.
Put it on the line.
Well, I think I'm just going to lay it down over here. I think it'll be okay because it's
okay.
really, it's not so terribly sticky that it's going to
An underpainting, yes.
Underpiecing, yes, that's good. That is a good way to put
or
that.
Painting.
And that is what I did on this one bracelet here. I'm so happy Izzy gave me her, or allowed me to keep her wand.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, I completely covered
Bye, Kylie,
this
thanks.
with this background color that's on the inside here.
Yeah.
Then this was torn out and placed on top. And I could do something very much like that with these two prints. They would work well for that.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Cool. We're a good stopping point.
I am at a good stopping point simply because I don't know what else to do.
Right.
Does anyone have questions? See if there are any questions. This is a good time to address that.
Now, tomorrow, well, yeah, y'all write in some questions if you have any questions. Julia says, I'm scared it will stick like glue to whatever you put on it. That's true. Or something to be said about that. I think talking about like if you're just laying things around or whatever, that it gets, stuck to things. That does happen around here.
Well, there's probably enough dust particles on this piece of thing over here that
Jennifer, so
it's like flouring your surface.
Right. If you go back to, so Thursday's stream is when she kind of started that bracelet. That's going to be the one that started out with the paper towels. And then if you go to the beginning of this stream, she really talked through the layers of how that one was created. But yeah. Alrighty, my friends.
And I showed the different papers.
And then showed the different papers and how it was created. And talked about the colors that were used. So yeah, that's, if you want to see the base of it being created, that is the last stream, which was on Thursday. And then today at the beginning, towards the beginning of this stream, she talked about that.
Now, and I think someone asked me once, and I think it was when we were doing the other thing, if you were to sell your bracelets, how much would you charge? Well, I sort of keep in mind about how many hours I've spent.
Mm-hmm.
And I figure as an artist, I'm worth at least $25 an hour. It doesn't take too long to get that into the $100, $150, $200 level. I mean, just simple time that you've put in. Plus, then you have to include the fact that I feel I am I'm a trained artisan. I'm at least that.
She's feral, but
yeah,
trained.
I go off.
The art part's good. Her as a person, we're still working on.
I about said something totally inappropriate. Yeah, but I'm not.
Right.
Yeah.
Fill in the blanks, y'all. Fill in the blanks. Okay, my arty friends. We shall be back here tomorrow. I am going to do a very fascinating cataloging. I mean, mind-blowing. We'll make it fun. If you want to just come chat and hang out, and we can look at all the different stamps.
I'll read through my old journals and keep you entertained.
Yeah, we can pull up quotes and we can do fun things while we're, cataloging stamps, because that's what we're planning on doing. I have like the little card. Look, see, I have pre-made, pre-cut, blank 4x6 inch, like postcard size. And then I have the playing cards, little packets. I'll make sure I add these to the store today. And then I have the book and all of that. So kind of just some ideas there. Anyways, we'll see you back then. Let me go side by side.
Oh, do I get to make the cover?
Sure.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, you can just
texturize it. I haven't done texture stuff for a long time.
So do you just want to you could cover it with your, your things that you got going on right now. That sort of thing.
No, but I want to add texture to it first.
Okay.
I have plenty of pencil sharpener
Maybe that's what you do on Tuesday, because you'll finish out kind of the bracelet-y box business. Or show the different
yes.
And that'll be a more interesting thing to probably show on cameras, doing the book thing. And again, it'll just be it really does flow in nicely into that.
What does that book look like?
It's just a binder, plastic binder. So you can either rough it up by probably rubbing some sandpaper over it. If you want it to adhere, you can cut off if you don't want to run into the, because it has a sleeve thing on the front
on the
and
fronts, front and back.
Yeah, or even actually on the spine too. You can probably cut that plastic off if you don't want it to be in the way.
Probably just cut all of it off, because I bet you there is underneath.
No, you don't want to do that, because they actually seal that in as part of its structure. Thoughts and ideas, y'all. There we go. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Love you like a
long haul.